Addict.
Hello, Matt.
Thanks for asking me, Dwayne. It's really nice to come down here and get an opportunity to meet a lot of people. I know a few people in here, but a lot of you I'm coming and sort of meeting for the first time. I'll just say my foundation of my recovery was in another fellowship. I don't kind of distinguish between anything that's a 12-step program. That's what I put my faith in to keep my recovery going. I don't want to get that off because I feel really nervous. I've got, I talk about this stuff all the time, and in an environment where I'm comfortable, I'm alright, but I've come in here and I kind of feel like there's you lot and there's me, do you know what I mean? And that's don't play out well for me in my life. When I've got that feeling where I go into any environment and I feel like everyone else is there and I'm separate, I've spent a lot of time sort of feeling like that. So I'm just going to hopefully talk about my nervousness until my voice stops sounding nervous. And then we'll crack on. So I heard of the 12 steps through a friend of mine that I'd used drugs with, and at the point where I reached out to him because I was fucked, I'd running out of ideas, and I think I had what I would now refer to as a surrender moment where the first time in my head I actually thought, do you know what, I can't think of a way of not using drugs that I actually believe is going to work. And up until that point, everyone else around me would have said I was well beaten, do you know what I mean, long before that, but I always held on to that. Something will be a bit different tomorrow. If I get the right circumstances, then things will change. And the thing that sealed it for me, I solidly believe, up to about 3 months into my recovery, I still held on to some of these belief systems where I thought I had a financial crisis, like I just didn't have enough cash. That was like one of my things I really held on to. I remember sitting and saying to a guy who had a lot of clean time, if everyone got dosed a certain amount a day, the world would be a better place. And I genuinely believing it, like into my recovery, kind of going, no, see, I was alright when I was on drugs. It was when I didn't have them that I had a problem. And so I just held on to all this stuff. And what I did was I rang a friend of mine and said, right, I'm going to come to yours for a week. At the point, I'd never heard any of them alcohol readings or anything like that. So it was very much like illicit substances. I need to get off of them. So my idea was go and stay with a mate of mine who worked in a pub and stay upstairs. And as far as I was concerned at the time, if I drank for the week, I'd cure myself. And I was pretty adamant of that. And what I found, I went over there with no car. I got dropped over there and I had no money. And it was in a village in the middle of nowhere. And I managed to use A-class drugs twice in that week. And I put in my way what I thought were all the things that were stopping me. It was because I had a car and because I had free time and because I was bored and because I had money and because all them things that I thought they're the reasons I use drugs. So I thought I just need a week or two of not having access to any of them things and my head will just sort itself out. And by the time I got home, 5 days I think I stayed because I told them I was fixed by the end of the 5 days, and I'd used twice. And I kind of got back and thought, I can't think of another way where this is actually going to work. So I kind of rang around a bit and got hold of a guy eventually that I didn't know where this guy was, and he was 3 years clean through working the 12 steps, and he hooked me up with a meeting. My first meeting that I ever went to was his 3 years clean, so it was like really big for me. So I thought I've used with this guy, and he was one of them that was worse than me. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of went along to this thing and thought, fucking hell, if this guy's clean, I reckon I might have a go at this. So my journey was I went into treatment. So to be fair, I don't really think I give the meetings a solid attempt beforehand because I kind of knew I was going treatment, and it ended up being about 6 weeks after that. I kind of went to one meeting a week to tick a box for the treatment centre just to go, yeah, I'm trying, and was just going in wrecked and that. But it was a 12-step treatment centre, and we went to meetings every day and started learning about this stuff. And one of the reasons I like talking about this stuff, and I really enjoy sort of talking to people that are early in and stuff, is because I didn't find it easy. I every single bit, I really struggled. I really found it hard. And when I I was one of these people that thought I was really fucking clever, and it was really hard work to sit listening to someone going, you know, fuck all about this stuff, you know, and like have to go, yeah, you're right, and I didn't go, yeah, you're right, for a while. And I learnt about step one, and the way that I learnt about step one was somebody not kind of going, you should do this or you should do that. It was through somebody kind of probing me about what my own experience was. And it's like, when I say my own experience out loud, I can't argue with it. Do you know what I mean? My history is a repetition of kicking the arse out of whatever substance it is I use, to the point where I end up in loads of crippling emotional pain. And I learnt in my step one about internal and external unmanageability. So the thing I thought that I needed to get on top of was I need to put myself in a position where I'm not losing jobs, and I'm not losing like whatever missus I'm with at the time, and I'm not like falling out with all my family and that. And I learned that all that stuff happens because of my internal unmanageability, because of that's what goes for me first. I feel like shit inside. Like I said at the beginning, I feel disconnected from people, and eventually I start reaching for things. And like we all hear it all the time in meetings, and it's like, luckily when we've kind of got a bit of an on program, it seems to like manifest in shit, like you start buying too many things, or it's like manifesting in other areas, and we can kind of get on top of it. Like we notice it, we talk about it in the meetings, and I kind of go, do you know what, something must be going on for me, because I'm doing this behaviour that I don't normally do, and like I've done this or I've done that, and kind of get on top of it. But I had no idea at all that any of that stuff had anything to do with drugs, and kind of turned up just wanting to like learn how to use properly. Like I just wanted someone to go, like, well, I genuinely thought, just if someone else monitored me, do you know what I mean? That was like it. I just need like rationing, like daily. But well, I'm so glad that wasn't what I got. Do you know what I mean? That shows where my head was at when I come in. That was the best thing I could hope for. And I remember doing some stuff around step 2, around hope, and like what you hoped for. And by the time I was actually looking at that stuff, I'd set me benchmark a bit higher. I was kind of thinking, actually, I kind of want to be happy, and I want to be connected with people, and I think that's the biggest thing that the 12-step program and people like you helping me learn about this stuff. It's given me a connection. It's like the three entities of step 5. So, I mean, like myself, God, and another human being. I had a real fucking fear, you know, tonight that I was going to come in here and quote a step and say it wrong. I was thinking like these guys fucking serious. If I go, oh fucking hell, that's the wrong step or something. So I think that's right, it. Step 5. Yeah, and that's what I've got. Well, I ain't got it. I've got it's improved immeasurably, and there is always room for growth, and it continues to improve. And my relationship with myself to start with was the thing I had to them things that people say like, well, like love you till you can love yourself and stuff like that. That was very necessary for me, because I came about. It's almost hard to explain how you can be that like arrogant and egotistical but not love yourself, because I always got the word to love yourself, I always thought was like a derogatory, you're arrogant kind of slur, but what it is for, like, I really didn't like myself and covered it by making everyone else think that I was fucking, like, I did. Do you know, like, really like put on this front that I was like really confident and stuff, and I weren't, and I had to learn that. And someone once taught me, someone from the rooms, the difference between pride and false pride, and was kind of saying like, pride, looking at it from a sinful perspective, he said, is false pride. And like, it's alright to be proud of yourself. It's alright to be proud of like something you've genuinely done. If you've genuinely put some effort into something and tried hard, it's alright to be proud of yourself. And that's what I've got through listening to some other people tell me about recovery, and actually trying and putting effort in and thinking, you know, I'm going to try and give this my best go, try my absolute best. And that don't mean kind of every day smashing it. That just means to the best of my ability in a day, try my best and then acknowledge where I fall short and see if I can try better the next day. But through that, I started to like myself a bit, and one of the first things I noticed was I started caring about other people. Not a lot, to begin with, but like just a little bit. Where my first outing I had in treatment, my stepdad said to me, he said, "You know what I've noticed about you?" He said, "You let me talk." And he said, like, I was like, I never realised I didn't. And he was like, "You would just argue with me, whether you were wrong or right." And it was like, it just used to piss me off. And like, I could kind of remember doing it and just thinking, like, just keep talking at them until they think you're right, kind of thing. And like then started kind of being on my phone calls, going like, "How are you?" And like asking how they were. And to start with, to be honest, because someone suggested for it, not because I suddenly grasped this concept of I need to care about other people, but someone said to me, "Do you ask them how they are?" And I was like, "Well, I'm the one in treatment. They're ringing me to see how I am." Do you know what I mean? Like, still like self-centered to the fucking core. And and that's how I was like, "How are you?" And then I started actually thinking, I care what you're saying. Do you know what I mean? I do actually want to know how you are. And being around other people and being so grateful for the loving, warm welcome that I got in meetings, that I kind of wanted someone else to feel that. So when someone new come in, trying to make a bit of an effort to speak to them. And to be honest, it's something I really have to put effort into today, because it's like seeing your pals, isn't it? You go to a meeting and I kind of be like, "Oh, mate, I've met," and it's all like the people I want to speak to, my mates. So I can't really make a conscious effort to kind of, if I see someone I don't know, go off and speak to them. And this is all stuff that I learned. It's all stuff that's come along the way. Something I'd like to speak about is just generally my relationships. I think that when I look at any of my individual relationships in my life, they're a good benchmark for me as to where I was and where I am. And I can say I'm a lot better in my relationships, and I'm proud of that, and I don't think it's arrogant. One of my biggest defects, I think, was arrogance, and it's now, you know, that thing of like when you acknowledge a defect and then you start working on it too hard, and then others pop up, or like you start just being so aware of it, you start doing it more or whatever. And like arrogance was one of them things for me, and I still get that thing now. Did that sound arrogant? Was that arrogant? Do you know what I mean? And it really kind of really bothers me. But I've been taught it's okay to be proud of something, and it's okay to go, "I think I'm actually doing all right at that." So my relationship with my wife, she has been with me through my using, and we're still together now. Because she's a fucking saint, not because I weren't really good at it. I think like in my relationship it was a shitstorm. Like while I was using, and as a benchmark, she's had some horrible things happen to her. And I remember one night, like coming in crying and going, "All the people that have hurt me in my life, and you were the fucking worst out of all of them." And some people have done some horrible things to her, so I thought, fucking hell, do you know what I mean? Like, I know it really resonates with me, that thing, I really feel it, and it's like, that's one of the things where I think, am I doing all right? I'm doing all right, do you know what I mean? Because like, she ain't saying stuff like that to me anymore, and the reason she said was because she was like, "I actually genuinely trusted you, and I really put everything into trusting you, and you've fucking done this to me." And I just used to like absolutely take the piss. Like, I think that come about because I'd like nicked a tenner off her, which she clearly knew was there, and in front of all her mates. He was like, "Did you take a tenner out of my purse?" And I was like, "No." And had this really like, they all knew. So I mean, like shit, like, and I didn't just go, "Yeah, I took the like," I was just like, nope, no, like. And then so she went out and come back and we had that conversation. And that's just an example. It's one of the things I really remember, but that was really common throughout our relationship, stuff like that going on. And today I learned how to be in a romantic relationship, if you like, or in a relationship at all. The romantic bit was there anyway, but like what I needed to learn was how to be in a relationship at all with anybody. And I learned that. I stressed that because I just realised I was in a treatment centre with like 20 lads. I learned how to be in romantic relationships in there. But just that stuff of like, one of the things, like admitting I might be wrong. Do you know what I mean? For me, that's really worked out well for me in my relationships, because it turns out roughly half of the time I am. So like, if you're in a conversation with anyone, like, it's very arrogant to kind of think, I'm definitely right all the time. And we had the last time I remember us even getting a bit shitty with each other, it was about a month ago. And I walked downstairs and sort of said something on the way down, which I then got downstairs and thought, that was a bit arsey, that was. As soon as she walked in, I went, sorry about that was me. I was arsey then. So, and it was sorted. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think she kind of came in thinking it was going to carry on. Do you know what I mean? But it just got done there and then. And that come from learning in here, I'm powerless over my thinking. I think mad shit sometimes, and very occasionally, it's not very occasionally at all, sometimes, that comes out my mouth, and I'll just say shit. I had a thing the other week where like, I pulled a wire out the back of my telly and broke it, and my wife came in and she was like, what's happened there? And I straight away went to blame my kid, and then I went, and then I thought, well no, so I shared my thinking with her, and she looked at me like I was fucking insane. I was gonna just blame that on Alexa. She was like, you bought it. It's yours. It's like, why do you feel the need? And it's just that like automatic. I still have that thing of like, I don't want people to think bad of me. I don't want to get in trouble. Do you know what I mean? So like, my first thought can quite often be, what makes me look good, rather than the truth. And I try and change that in my relationships today. And like, sometimes that means just kind of telling the truth when I've done something, or when I've said something, or just kind of going, yeah, I've done that, or sorry about that, I shouldn't have said that. And that's one of the key things. And it's I've just learnt about love, learnt about listening to someone, and all of that. That all come from the 12 steps for me. My relationship with my daughter is also, she was probably aware subliminally that I was using. I don't know if she is, or if she knows, but like, I definitely was sort of not a fucking good dad. And a lot of the stuff that I thought, that I kind of thought, she's fed, she's clothed, she's got a house, she's got like all the stuff that I kind of thought, well, she's got all that, so she's all right. Weren't I doing? Do you know what I mean? I was like, my missus was sorting all that out, but I really held on to it like it was something I had a part in. And then kind of thought, you know what, if that was just left to me, she'd have had none of that stuff. Do you know what I mean? I was so gripped by the obsession to use that I would have known it was wrong. It weren't like I weren't able to kind of fathom that it was wrong, but I just was completely broken to the point of being able to do anything about it. And now I try and be emotionally there for her. She's started secondary school in September. She's really struggling with anxiety, like going into school and stuff. And like the first thing was kind of like my missus said to me the other day, get this spray stuff, and like it's, don't know what it is, but I went and looked, and it's like 27% alcohol. I was like, that seems fucking, I don't know if it's just me being prangy, but like, I was thinking, I don't want my 11-year-old starting to associate the feeling of calming down from anxiety with fucking spraying alcohol on your face. So I thought, so what I'm going to try and do is just keep talking to her. And I think she went for a year where I'll try and talk to her about stuff. And my little one, and she just had no interest, just as like the kids that age. Kind of like, how are you? All right. And like, there was just not getting past it. But I really think she's starting to sort of trust me, and she's sort of shared some stuff with me about real kind of stuff that I wouldn't have fucking had a clue how to articulate at her age. And I hope that part of that is because I'm providing a platform as best I can, and always saying, are you okay? What do you need to talk about? Anything? Not breaking her fucking balls if she says, oh, I've been thinking this, and it's a bit off key, or she says, oh, I've done that, and it's a bit like, but just trying to give her a platform to be honest. Because what I've learned in my step work as well is I look back and my parents done the absolute best job they could. And there were areas where I can think, I didn't really have a solid platform there to be able to talk. I couldn't have done this. This is what I'm saying to you, like, no, I don't know half of you, and I couldn't fucking say this to my mum, do you know what I mean? So just I've learnt in here to try and allow other people to make mistakes, allow other people to be vulnerable, and and I'll try and bring that into my relationship with my daughter. All my relationships, to varying degree, I've got a lot of mates that I don't speak to anymore for one reason or another, either because they're flat out or because they fell out with me because of the actions that I did in my using, and that's okay. Do you know what I mean? I've like one of them, my best man at my wedding, I went and stuck a birthday card through his door, like when I got out of treatment and stuff, and kind of thought he'd be alright now, and he ain't, and he's quite vocal to some other sort of common mates that he thinks I'm a cock, but like that's alright, and like I try not to hold it against him. I do struggle with it, to be honest, a little bit, but it don't like overwhelm me. And if I saw him, there wouldn't be any ill feeling from my end, and that's all I can control. And most of my mates nowadays are in recovery. I've got a few mates that ain't, but like all my mates have got my welfare at heart, which is the main thing. Some of them are like still hang about with a couple of people who have a drink every now and again. I fucking don't go on like stag do's and that with them. Do you know what I mean? That's like anything where I can't get out of that situation, I do not go. Like, I want to make sure I can get the fuck out of there if I need to. And so my circle of friends has improved, and I've got people around me that care about me, and I care about them. My relationship with my stepdad, I'll finish on this. He's an odd character, but then I was a wappy little fucking druggie. So like, I was clearly like the issue in the situation. But like, I hugged him over Christmas, and he nearly shat himself. I thought that it's about time. I mean, I've never hugged this guy. He's a businessman handshake kind of thing, and like. And like at Christmas, I thought I'd give the guy a hug, and I just got to his house, and he was like, "Oh, thanks, right, see you later then." Just got here. Come about. And then like he came up to me the other day, and was just like, "I think I'm just going to go back to a handshake," and like, but that's like again, like I appreciate that guy looks after my mum. Do you know what I mean? And it's probably more of a kind of estranged uncle relationship that I have with him, but he's a nice guy, and we get on. And the guy sucker punched me in the back of the head once when I was using. So I get this stuff, working on my resentments and stuff, and kind of seeing my part and all of that. It's allowed me to I'd keep the relationships, I'd work on the relationships that mean something to me, and where that the other person's got my best interests at heart, and I'll try and keep theirs. It went quicker than I thought, Dwayne.
There you go.
Thank you for listening. Thanks again, mate, for asking me to share. Cheers.
Nice one, Matt. Cheers, Matt.